Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Steve here from PC Budget Solutions, and this is kind of a video I've been wanting to do, and then I actually just watched Linus's most recent video about the x299 release with the i9 processors, and I've been agreeing with a lot of what he had to say for a long time. So this is going to be my kind of video, somewhat reiterating some of the things he said, but like more so from my perspective. So let's take a trip back to about 2010-2011 when AMD launched the Bulldozer architecture. Everybody was so happy. You know, we had quad cores for, since 2006, since the Q6600, all the way up to the first gen i7s and second gen i7s, or half gen, whatever you want to call them, the 800-900 series. And AMD releases 8 cores, but unfortunately, as you guys know, the launch was kind of a flop. There were a lot of issues with single-threaded performance, communication between the cores were poor, and honestly, in most games, particularly where single-threaded performance was key, the performance just wasn't there. So Intel, from second generation Sandy Bridge all the way up to Kaby Lake, so we're talking spanning basically from generation 2 to 7, so that would be essentially 2, 3, 4, 6 generations essentially, they really haven't done much. A little bit of single-thread performance, a little bit higher clock speed, and you can't even argue that TDP went down because we started at 95, we're at 91. They've gone down, and they've gone up. And they're still charging a low to mid $300 premium for a 4-core, 8-thread processor. So, fast forward to 2017, Ryzen comes out, and all of a sudden that single-thread performance gap was almost erased. I mean, Intel still has a little edge, but somebody like me who games and creates content, 6 and 8 cores at 220 and $330 just was way better. My render times are more than half as fast, twice as fast rather, rendering half the time. So Intel, there's rumors that come out that Intel's be launching this platform, x299, and that might, be able to compete with Ryzen, and then AMD comes out and says, we're releasing Threadripper. We're going to go up to 16 cores, 32 threads. We're going to have, 64 PCI Express lanes, somewhere in that ballpark. The TDP is going to be like 140, 150, which is amazing. Clock speeds aren't as high as we would like, and we kind of expected that from Ryzen, mid to upper 3s, maybe real low 4s. But we all know the price point's going to be good. Rumors are at $850 for the highest end. That could change. It could go higher. We don't know that. But I doubt it's going to be anywhere near $2,000. And Intel was rumored to come out with an up to 12-core processor. Then all of a sudden at CES, they have a 14, 16, 18-core processor that they have very little specs on. They did actually release a price on it. They're not exactly showing the clock speed and the TDP later to be announced, but I agree with what Linus said. It felt like they were contemplating doing this later on down the road, and then when they found out that they were going to be beat to the punch, they said, "Oh, we have this processor's coming out, blah 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 blah," but they're not even ready for a while. And then the platform as a whole is just confusing. You have dual channel and quad channel memory support all the way up from 4-core, 4 threads to 18-core, 36 threads. Depending on what CPU you have, you'll enable either 16 or 44 PCI Express lanes. Depending on what CPU you have, it'll be either dual or quad channel memory. And the motherboard manufacturer is supposed to enable all this, synonymously across the whole platform. Linus mentioned that Gigabyte is not going to have Thunderbolt 3 ready on their platform. NVMe SSD support is great with RAID, but going on to what Linus continued, you have to use supposedly Intel Octane or Intel NVMe SSDs to run RAID 0, 1, or 10, or run RAID 0, that matter. 1 and 10 is even supported right now. And, it's just a big confusion mess of information that was not organized at all. It felt like literally a knee-jerk reaction. And, Intel's been basically sitting on nothing because, to their credit, AMD hasn't done much since 2011. But now that AMD's back in the game, instead of working on innovating technology, they've sat on their butts. They've improved a little bit year over year with, in my opinion, not much. And now they're really worried that they're going to possibly lose the market share again, which honestly, I hope they do. I'm glad Intel didn't crush AMD when they were down because we won competition. But at the same time, you know, for them to just to show the greed they have by basically doing nothing for 5 or 6 years, you know, I hope they lose market share from AMD. You know, AMD's always been, at least with the exception like the K62 and the XP series or whatever, they haven't really led the market share, at least on the CPU side. And I really want them to do well. I want to encourage, you know, competition. Look where we've come in GPUs since 2011, because AMD's been very competitive for the most part against NVIDIA. Obviously, like, you know, the R9 Fury series didn't do as well long term, and we don't have Vega yet. And I'm running a GTX 1080 now, but I do have a RX 580 right here, which is almost sold, by the way. $325 is the current bid on eBay. But, you know, I'm disappointed with Intel. I felt like they just weren't prepared, and I'm really hopeful for AMD. If they can launch a 16-core, 32-thread CPU under $1,000, that's amazing. We're talking 10-core, 20-thread Intel CPU was what, nearly $2,000. That would be probably what, Broadwell E or whatever have you. The 6950X, whatever that was. So, you know, that's kind of my thoughts about it. I'm really interested in what you guys have to think. I definitely did get some of the notes from Linus's video, so I'm going to link that in the comments below, because he's a little bit more informed. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so, you know, I definitely appreciate him doing it, because that drove me to do it. But thank you guys for tuning in. This is Steve from PC Budget Solutions, and I'll see you guys later on down the road.